Hey YouTube, it's SoulPrime13 coming at you with another Transformers video review, and today we're going to be taking a look at the LaserCat Toys Beast Wars Megatron. I don't remember if this guy has like a... yeah, there it is. Steel Beast General. It's right there. And we got an interesting box. We got like a painted artwork of the T-Rex head there. Plenty of caution tape around. We do get their little logo up there. Here we get an artwork of the robot mode. Up top we get that same logo. Here we got that, I think that's this, yeah, that's the same picture. And the same on that side. And then back here we do get some product shots. So there is that. We do get some alternate faces. There are a couple of little features there. And you can see my box is kind of bent here for some reason, but yeah, that's pretty much it for the box. And we do get a collector's card with that same logo there and the teeth around the edges. It looks pretty cool. Mine's a little warped. And then just their logo on the back. But yeah, neat. And then we do of course get the lovely instruction booklet. And yes, they have good instructions. They actually use both sides of it. So there is that. And I just realized I forgot to turn on my additional lighting. Let me fix that real fast. There we go. That should be better. And take a quick look here at the figure. We do have some red orbs for the eyes, and there that side is poking out. You can sort of see the hole there. Do got a nice, yeah, sometimes his arms come undone a little easy. Do got a nice face sculpt there with him making an angry grr face. He does have those teeth along the collar. And yeah, just some very nice paintwork there. He does come with a little weapon that does plug into his back. He has his toothbrush here, and you can put that into his hand. Here, if his arm will stop turning. I'm glad that they added this. Oh, that's a little squeaky. That they let you turn that, but yeah, this you just kind of wrap his hand around it, if his hand will close here for a second, and of course it pushes it out rather than closing around it. But yeah, just stop being difficult. Anyway, yeah, there we go. He can hold his big old toothbrush. So there is that. And yep, there. His arms popped out again. Must be pushing on it wrong, but yeah, that's one of the few issues I have. Is I wish the shoulders were a little more secure. But yeah, fortunately, they don't like fall out of place. It's just very easy to push them out of their socket. So, and he does have the traditional Megatron backpack, but it's pretty minor. So. It is, you know, that is something that is supposed to be there, but, you know, they kept it minimal, which is nice. Of course, we got the big old T-Rex head. And, the T-Rex head does not light up, but he does have a light-up feature in his robot head. Yeah, we do. That does open. Articulated tongue, too, so overall, very nice. We'll go over his articulation real quick. So yeah, head is on a very expressive ball joint. You get plenty of movement out of that. Yeah, the shoulders can do not a full 360. Almost a full 360. There is some collision here with the shoulder pad. Okay, yeah, there we go, full 360. These do move a little bit for transformation, so that's why. But yeah, there's that. He does have double jointed elbows, so he gets full bend on those. again, there is a gonna need to put a little lubricant on that. Jeez. A rotation for his like tail weapon. This whole segment does not come off, but again, you can move it around. He does have some articulation in his hand. He does have a ball joint and a hinge at the base of the thumb, and then he does have sort of a double joint here. You can see where the pins are for each of his fingers. They are separately articulated, I believe. Oh, no, the bottom ones are together. So, but yeah, overall, some nice articulation there. You do get a bicep swivel as well. We do get a nice 360 at the waist. I should probably go over the other arm first, though. Yeah, again, we do get a double jointed elbow. It is less expressive because of the giant T-Rex head, but you know, it is still there. And the T-Rex head is on a universal joint in here. You can sort of see it there. And again, the mouth does open and the tongue does articulate as well. So, plenty of movement there. And yeah, see, arms popped out again. The legs can go that far forward because of the knee collision. I do kind of wish these legs extended a little bit because the knee covers up most of the actual like thigh detail, as you can see there. Just a little bit of it pokes over the top, but yeah, you do get about it's on a little under 90 degrees at the knee. Oh wait, hold on. You can also bend this part as well. So need to push that back. So there is actually two joints here in the knee, but it doesn't give you too much more motion. You do get a thigh swivel. There are several joints in the feet because you transform them, which is really just kind of scrunching them up a little bit. But yeah, you do get a couple of you do get a hinge here at the toes, I believe it's like a universal joint here at the base of the foot. Yeah, it's got sideways tilt up and down. And then there is a hinge for this part, but that's more for the T-Rex mode. So there is that. I'm sure I'll flatten that. See, am I missing anything? I don't think I am. Okay, and there is a couple more features I want to go over for the robot mode. So again, he does come with his toothbrush, but it does actually open up and transform. Can open it up here, flip this part around, flip this out, and then bring this down. And now you have his safari rifle, which again, you can just wrap his hand around that and have it in his hand. And this does, at least as the toothbrush, let me switch it back. Come on, open up. There we go. Flip it that way, and this peg does actually let it store on his back. There are two little slots here. Either one will work, and you just store that on his back. And there is a magnet right here on the bottom of the laser ducky. There's a laser ducky, and if we bonk him on the face with that. Block him on the head. Come on. That's it. Oh, I think it is actually on. Hold on. I think my lights are making it harder to see. I'll turn them off for like a second here. Yeah, I think it's actually already on. It's really dim. I remember. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why it's so dim. It looks even worse over the camera, but yeah, they're on. I'll go ahead and turn them off. Yeah, I'm not used to it not showing that well. But yeah. Anyway, you get the point. But there is one other thing we can do here in the robot mode with his face, and that's wrap it off. So you can find the shit. Yep, there we go. There's the little battery. I believe it says in the instruction booklet what size it takes. Let me look. 'Cause they're usually pretty good about that. LaserCat does really good quality stuff. Yeah, it says right here where it shows the battery. It's a CR927. So, just in case you need to know. But yeah, it's in the instructions. But anyway, for the face, you do actually have to separate this part as well. And you can see there are two little posts, and the alternate faces do have the holes. So he comes with the grumpy face, and I'm pretty sure this was the originally installed one. And then he comes with a frowny face, and then he comes with the smug yes face. So that's the one we're going to use because we're a fan of memes around here. And then yeah, you can just slap that bad boy back on there. Make sure that I get everything lined up. There we go. And we'll just light that up again real fast. I think it's showing up a little better on that one. Anyway. Yeah, those are the alternate faces. And yeah, we're just going to put this all off to the side. And we're going to do a couple comparisons here. Here he is next to the Kingdom Primal. So you can see how he stacks up there. Here he is with Leader Kingdom Megatron. Make you stand up straight, perhaps. So there's how he stacks with a recent official figure. And of course, we've just absolutely got to bring in the OG Megatron. So that's how he stacks up. Anywho, I think that's everything for the robot mode, so we should be able to start the transformation now. Anywho, so we are going to start by unsocketing those arms. Just and we want to come here to the front and pull this chest piece loose. And you do want to sort of fold his head back a little bit. It is on a little bit of a platform, but yeah, you want to do that. And then this part here is going to come up on a little extending arm, and you're going to rotate that around like so. And then get this backpack down and out of the way. Get this, bring this up. Yeah, you can see there's a hinge and then the platform that the ball joint is on. So you want to bring that back a bit, because that'll give you some room to get his arms out. And these are a little tricky to get out, just because they do kind of catch a little bit here and there. But essentially you do want to bring this out, and you want to get those arms, the little T-Rex arms out. Actually, I think you're actually supposed to get the arms out first, which is again a little bit of a pain, just to get them out and around. Probably be a little easier if I used a tool. There we go, like so. Now I can lift this whole section. Come on, there we go. And just wiggle that past that, and bring that out and around, and just come on. It's that caught on his chin. There we go. And then we just want to do the same for this side. Come on. Yeah, these really like to catch. Okay, that was a little easier. And bring this out. And then we do need to bring his head in, but we want to come back here. And actually, yeah, we want to pull up this panel, bring this in where you're going to fold these two pieces here in like that. And then I believe we just want to fold this, and actually pretty sure this is supposed to collapse a little bit more. Don't think I'm doing that all correctly. Right, there we go. Yeah, you want to flip the top of his head around. Let me get this hole somewhere out. You gotta flip this all the way around like that. And then you can bring this in. Tuck his head into the chest piece here. And pretty sure that now this is supposed to fold up, and it's not doing it. Was it just like that? It might just be that. And then we're going to close this up, and we want to fold out this panel here, and we do want to actually tuck that back down. Okay, yeah, that is right, because then it'll come together against this sort of neck piece here, like so. And we are going to fold this in, and there is a little tab here and a slot here, so you do want to make sure that those are going in. And I think we do need to wait before we actually put them together, but now we're going to look at doing his arms here. We're going to just sort of scoot his leg down here and rotate this, and we are going to rotate his arm around, and if I'm remembering correctly, I believe we want the elbow joint facing down, so his head needs to move down. We're going to bring this up, and there is pretty sure there's like a, yeah, his arm does collapse in on itself there, and that'll bring this. Okay, now I'm thinking I'm doing this wrong. I can't I know there's like a very specific way that this arm has to orient. I'm gonna double check, because I'm spacing right now. Been having that all day. Okay. So yeah, it does want this sort of, see how there's that spike of his elbow? That needs to be lined up with the ridge of his head, apparently. And then you want to bring this down on the slider. We're going to bring this down and bring this up. We're just going to set that there for now. And we do need to bring this around. We are going to, let's see. I figure I should probably get the tail lined up while I'm here. Anyway, we're going to unfold this whole backpack section, and it's not terribly complicated. We just want to open these up, fold out, not that piece, this side, get these out of the way, fold this up, and bring these side panels down, and then fold these panels out like so. We can just sort of rest that like that. And now we want to untab his crotchular area, and that's going to free up his legs, and they are on double hinges, so now you want to bring them out like so, and they are going to tab back into that same crotch piece. And looks like, yeah, they're on a little slider, so you want to bring it down and then bring it forward, and now it'll go into this little gap here, this slot here. So bring it down, then bring it forward, We can just bring these legs around. Yeah, here just plugs back in like so. And now we can just sort of bring these knees back a little bit. And then, hey YouTube, it's SoulPrime13 coming at you with another Transformers video review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the LazerCat Steel Beast General, which is their take on a super deformed / chibi Beast Wars Megatron. So we'll start with a quick look at the box, and we do have a nice painted image of the head of the dinosaur there. We do get this sort of stylized logo here with claws and a slash through it and a little beastie eye looking at you. There's his name. We got some caution tape and some jungle going on. That same logo on the top and on the bottom. And then we have this artwork, again painted, of the robot mode, or maybe it's a filter on both sides. And then on the back we do have a few product shots. And that's it for the box. We do also get a neat little collector's card. Mine is kind of warped for some reason. But yeah, I get a dyno mode and a mugshot of the robot there. And just their logos on the back. And we of course get our lovely instruction booklet. So there is that. And we'll take a quick look at the figure here. I forgot to swap his face back, but we'll just worry about that later. Yeah, very nice painted detail. He does have that row of teeth around his collar. Of course, we got the dino head hand and the tail arm. The tail section does not come off, but it does rotate around, and mine is very squeaky. He does have a fist on this side, and it does have some articulation to it, which we will get to. And there is one of my few issues with this guy. I only have a couple, but they are issues in that these little tabs are the only things really holding the arm or the shoulders in place. So just even the slightest bump can cause them to just come undone and untab, and then they got wobbly arms. I mean, it's bolted on the back here because of this armature, but they do pop out of their sockets kind of easy. And another part that's kind of annoying is these shoulder pads have to move slightly in the transformation, and the joint is really stiff, so like everything else wants to move more. But there's that. It does have his traditional backpack, but they've kept it pretty minimal. So there is that. He does have the little hip rockets on here, and I did not realize it until I was getting ready for this review, doing my little refresher transformation, but these knee pads actually move down to reveal the thigh details, because before I had them up like this, I didn't realize that the knee pad itself actually moves down. So there is that. Yeah, looks very nice. Of course, the T-Rex head does open. Got some nice painted teeth in there. It does also have a moving tongue. So all sorts of neat stuff there. Let's do a couple of quick comparisons. So first of all, here we have him next to Kingdom Optimus Primal. So you get an idea of how he stacks up with his nemesis. And they are doing a Optimus Primal figure, Steel LazerCat is. I don't know if it's going to be the Rise of the Beasts or the original Beast Wars version. The promo made it look more like Rise of the Beasts from what I remember. It's really just a shaded image, and you can see some of his face. Like mainly his robot face. And I'm not really sure, because on one hand they did the Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime. That was their very first figure, and they're also going to do a Rise of the Beast Chimera Bumblebee, but they're also doing, they also did Beast Wars Megatron, and they are doing a Beast Wars Waspinator. So I'm not sure which Optimus Primal they're going for. Either way, I'll probably get it, and who knows, maybe they'll like release one and then slightly retool the like patterning to make it into the other. They could do that. Anyway, and of course we need to show him with the Leader Kingdom Megatron, so you can see how he stacks up with his modern interpretation. And of course we gotta show him next to the OG Beast Wars Megatron, because it's just so cool. So there's that. Anywho, let's talk about features. So we do get the typical LaserCat light up head feature. And he does come with this little accessory. Yes, this is his toothbrush from that one scene in that one time. And he can hold it in his hand. We'll go over that in a bit. But the magnet is on the bottom of this little laser ducky. It's this little round part right here. Actually, I'm going to turn my lights off real quick because I was trying to do this earlier and you could barely see it with these lights on. So I'm just going to turn them off for a second. And there we go. Yeah, see, even now it's kind of not shown super well. You can kind of see it now, but yeah, see. For some reason, it's just not that bright on him. It's a lot stronger on their other figures. Yeah, come on, turn off. There we go. Anyway, I'm gonna turn the lights back on. But yeah, and he does also come with two alternate faces. He comes with this growling, angry face, which I believe is the one he comes installed with. Then he also has a big frowny face, and then of course he does have the smiling yes face that I have on him now. I will briefly show how the face swapping works. You take this section of his head off, and then you just push this out, and then they just slide on to these little posts here and here, and then you can just put that back on, and now he has a different face. But I like the yes face, so that's what I'm going to keep on him. I meant to swap this back so I could have this one on to start with before I started filming, but slipped my mind. Come on, let go. Did not have this much trouble the last time I swapped it. Get that on there, and then just smack that right back. Oh, battery fell out. Actually, let me, ooh. Okay, yeah, it is top side up. I definitely want to make sure I'm putting that the right way. Alright, now we have his face back on. And if we want to give him his toothbrush, doesn't really tab in, but you can fold these panels outward a bit more. You can just put this big handle in his hand. There's a little bit of a groove to his palm, and you just wrap his fingers around it like so, and now you have his trusty toothbrush. And I'm sure many of you are seeing this a little bit here, because you can in fact pop it open, flip out this, and flip this around, close this up, and then just bend that handle, and now he has his safari rifle as well, from that episode where he tried to hunt down the Maximals. So that's pretty neat. And if we take this away and just toothbrush it up again, just fold that away, flip this under, you can store this on his back with this post here. There, yeah, see, it just keeps popping out. And this does rotate. It tabs in here, but like nothing stops it from rotating. This guy doesn't have too many serious issues, but he does have a lot of little ones. But anyway, there's these two slots here, and you can just plug these in like so. And he does have some metal joints, so you can No, they just stick the magnet onto his butt so that's not flopping around. So there is your weapon storage for robot mode. And we'll briefly go over his articulation. So for the head, he does have a very nice ball joint going on. He does get 360 at the shoulders. Just make sure to watch for collision and make sure that the shoulder pads are in the right position in robot mode, and should be fine. Again, they do move slightly in transformation. On this side, he does have a double jointed elbow, so you get plenty of movement here. Again, there is his hand where he has a ball joint and a hinge at the thumb, and then the fingers have double hinges at the first and second knuckle, and it is a trigger finger, 2-finger split here. So there's that. And this piece again also rotates, very squeaky. I'm going to need to oil that up or something. We do get a 360 at the waist as well, and yep, see, arms popped out again. For this arm, same for the shoulder. He does still have the double jointed elbow, but the T-Rex head definitely is a lot more collision heavy, so you don't get quite as much range out of it. But the T-Rex head is on a universal joint, so you do get side to side and up and down. Again, the jaw does open that far, and you do get a hinge for the tongue. His eyes do also move. There is a little, see if I can find it, there it is. They do move, so this is for the T-Rex mode, and then you just roll it so it's blank for the robot mode. The hips, stop coming unpegged. Hip can go that far forward. He does have about 90 degrees at the knee. These are on a ball joint and a hinge, so you can move them around a little bit. That is mostly for transformation, but you get some options there. He does have ankle tilted, and he does also get several joints in the foot, mainly for how it's supposed to be positioned in the T-Rex mode, but it does give you some toe movement as well as a little bit of movement in the heel. So you get plenty of movement in his feet as well. But that is his articulation, and I think that's about it for his robot mode. So we can go ahead and get started on the transformation. So to start, we are going to come here to his hand. God, that squeaking is really bothering me. We want to bring his thumb in and fold it down like so, and then we just want to cup his fingers up so it is shaped like that. And then we want to rotate this around. We might need to compress his fingers a little more and wiggle this around, but essentially want to get this wrapped around his arm so that the back of his hand is facing the orange side of the tail, like so. And then you want to bring this over, and you do want to sort of squish his arm down to compress it, because it is on like a little armature. You just want to get that as compressed as you can, and then we can leave that for right now. We are going to come here and untab both of his shoulders. We do also want to bring his backpack down and just sort of get those out of the way. And we're going to pull on his chest here and bring this whole assembly out. You're going to grab this and pull it forward on this little arm and flatten it out and rotate it around. Now, to deal with the little T-Rex arms inside, you want to get his big head as far back as you can. And the hinge gets a lot tighter towards the back, but it does go all the way, like all the way back, so that his head is facing directly up. And the ball joint helps as well. But yeah, now you kind of want to, you need to get the T-Rex arms out first, because they will catch, and they like to just catch in general, but just get those out, and then you can pull this whole section here up and out. And again, you need to get the T-Rex arm out first. Come on, there we go. and then just get this whole assembly out to the sides. And then we're going to bring his head back down. What we're going to do is we're going to come here. You can see this little slot on top. We're going to open this up and pull this back. We're going to fold these two panels in like so, and then you're going to push back, and just the whole top of his head will flip around like so. And then you're going to bring it on that hinge down into his chest like this. And then this panel is going to fold flat, and you can see that, yeah, I want to make sure position like that. You're going to push, or actually you're going to pull this section out, then you're going to push this back in, and then you're going to fold the chest back up, make sure it tabs in, and then this will come together like so. And that's basically the throat of the dinosaur mode. Now there is a little tab here and a little slot here. You're going to bring those in and bring those in, and then fold these up against that. Make sure that it actually stays tabbed in. There we go. Now starts to get a little trickier. We're going to bring these legs just down out of the way, and now we want to, actually we are going to deal with the legs now. You want to pop up this crotch panel and bring the legs out. They are on these double hinge pieces, and you can see there is a little slider on this part, and you're going to slide that down. The waist will stop trying to rotate on me. Come on. Yeah, you want to slide that down. There we go. And now it'll fit into this little groove here and come forward like so. And do the same on the other side. You want to bring this slider down, and then that will let you slide it into the groove. And then now the crotch piece will tab in to these tabs here. Well, rather they used to tab in the middle, now they're going to tab into the side pieces. So just bring those up like that. And we can save the rest of the legs for a little bit later. Going to turn this so that the tail and head are facing in the right directions, and it does slide back a little bit. It already slid back, but and you want to rotate this so that the green pieces are facing up. And again, this moves ever so slightly. You can see it better from this side, but there is like a little hinge like right here under the shoulder, and basically you're just pushing it in so that it sits over this hinge right here, so like that. So it should cover that hinge pin. Now what we're going to do is you want to compress the arm like so, and we want to fold this out, bring these out to the side, and just fold this up. And we are going to rotate this arm around so that the green is facing up, and then we are going to bring this underneath like so, and just bring it together. And then there's tab slots here, and also this tab needs to go into the crotch piece. So it should sit flush like this. This one likes to pop out pretty easy, so I don't worry about it too much, but and just close those up. And yeah, see, it's already not staying, but we want to, and there is actually two slots here for these tabs as well on those same hip joint pieces like that. So, and then this all should just like tuck underneath, and again that did not hook in. In fact, it's causing the other parts to untab. There we go. Yeah, unfortunately for this part, that's about as good as it gets. Now for the backpack, we are going to fold this panel up, and we do want to bring this around, and then we are going to, these actually do lock in right here, just little tabs. Bring them out like so, got the little holes where they lock in, and we want to flip these little bits out and flip this out, straighten this up, and we're going to bring these down, and that will come together like so, and that forms the back shell area. And you want the curved part back because those are for the legs, but we're just going to leave that up for now. Now coming to the dinosaur head, there's a specific orientation you want for it. You are going to compress the arm again, but you want to make sure that this, hang on, bring that down, this elbow joint is going to be facing up towards the green. And now we just compress that arm in on itself. Sometimes it goes in a little smoother, sometimes it doesn't. It's already, there we go. And if you've done it right, this should come down, and you can see this stripe on that. And yep, I'm pretty sure that's all said and done there. And now we can come here and fold this section down. And did I get this? Oh, I got that backwards, didn't I? Oop, my bad. No, I did not get that backwards. Hold on, we're gonna do the yep, see, comes untabbed, super easy. So for this part, we do want to straighten, we want to bend the legs back and lift this knee piece up to cover that thigh detail. Then we're going to rotate this and bring it up on that hinge and ball joint so that it covers up the joint. Then the foot, we want to bend the toes forward and then bring the back claw down like so. And we can just sort of bend this and give them that sort of bent leg look. So it should look something like that. I'm just going to do the same on the other side. I'm going to bring this back, fold this knee joint up, rotate this so that the missiles are facing down, and then push it up on that armature. And then we're just going to fold this over, bring the claw down, and just sort of bend that at our desired angle. And now we have our little T-Rex legs. Again, this just does not want to stay in place, but should be fine here in a second. And it moved backwards for some reason. And yeah, I don't know why this one is so much more finicky on this side, but it is. Anyway, now we can bring all this, and again, there is this little armature, so we're just going to flatten it all out. It should come together like so. And this should all be tabbed together. Make sure that the shoulder is tabbed into those waist pieces. And yeah, it's not completely perfect. This one section just does not like to cooperate with me. So, but other than that, they've actually done a pretty good job managing the overall panel, just all the panels. Okay. But yeah, there we go. And then that just needs to get pushed back, and that one usually holds better. There we go. And there we have him in his little T-Rex mode. We can just move those arms forward. And I did not realize this the very first time I transformed him, but these eyepieces are actually magnetic as well. So you just bring the gold part to where it's visible, and you take this, and you can move it. Now this eye is a little bit more loose than the other side for some reason, like to the point where tapping it will make it slip. But yeah, his eyes facing forward. See. And you do want to be careful because there is actually a giant hole on one side, on the opposite side. So But yeah, we'll sort of creepy that it does that in a way. This one doesn't move as freely. But yeah, now we can get his eyes facing forward. So there's that. And the toothbrush does actually store. That section on his back where those tabs went in is the same size, so just plug that in. So you have dyno storage. Now, as far as the articulation in the dyno mode, the head is essentially the same as it was before. It's on a universal joint, and again, the mouth and tongue have articulation. The T-Rex arms are just on ball joints at the base. The legs are the same. You do get a little bit of tail movement at the very tip, though. But yeah, I do wish that this part was a little more stable. Yeah, see, now it's even coming untabbed. Yeah, I don't know, maybe I did this wrong, but that's the way it always turns out for me here. But yeah, overall, I do like it. It's just he does have a few small issues. And yeah, again, that eye's a little loose compared to the other one. But overall, he is a very menacing, adorable killing machine. I do like the overall aesthetic. I do like the figure itself. Again, there are some improvements they could have made, some little fixes that kind of should have been done, but I don't hate the figure by any means, and I definitely plan to continue getting stuff from LaserCat because I've enjoyed their Optimus. I do enjoy this figure, and I've really been liking their little mini combiners because those are pretty much the only third-party combiners I've bothered with. But then again, they're under $100 for a full, or around $100 for a full set, whereas like the Masterpiece ones, it's like $600. So anyway, for some comparisons, here we have him next to the Robot Toys Beast Wars Megatron. Let's do it like this. Yeah, come on. Yeah. So that's how he stacks up with that. And I reviewed this one a little while ago, so might as well bring him back in. The Iron Factory Samurai Beast Wars Megatron. Come on, stand up. And just for one official comparison, areas with the Masterpiece Beast Wars Megatron. Let's adjust that, bring that up. So you can see how he stacks up with the big boys. So yeah, there's that. And again, I do like this figure. He does have a couple of small issues. Mainly just how some things don't lock in as well as they should. But overall, I don't dislike him. You know, it's not where like a significant tab pops out of place every time I try and put it in, or where the transformation drastically fights you. It's none of those issues. They're little issues, but they are there. So I can't say I would give him a perfect score, but I do think he's at least worthwhile, especially if you're a fan of the LaserCat figures, if you're a fan of the Beast Wars figures, if you like T-Rexes like I do. There's a lot to love about this guy. So I would say, given all his issues, I think I can't give him more than like a 7 out of 10 if I was to like ballpark it. But I still think that he's at least worth picking up, especially if there's something here that you desire, like, you know, a T-Rex or Megatron. So that is my final thoughts on the matter, and I think that's all I have to say. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. And this is Soul Prime 13 saying transform and soul out.